Good morning, good afternoon, or good day, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to another edition of the TIHA Archival Conversations, brought to you by Trans and Intersex History Africa. This is where we preserve the stories, voices, and histories of trans and intersex people in and from Africa, and also those in its diaspora. My name is Victor Mukasa, and I am your host. Today, we are heading to Kenya in East Africa to meet a transgender refugee, an activist whose journey reflects both the hardships and resilience of displaced transgender people across Africa. Joining us is Vanilla Hussein. Vanilla Hussein is a transgender refugee activist and community leader with Refugee Trans Initiative, or RTI, a refugee-led organization supporting intersex, transgender, and gender non-conforming refugees in Kenya. Through advocacy, protection, and community empowerment, Vanilla works to improve access to safe housing, healthcare, food support, legal assistance, and livelihood opportunities for those of the continent's most vulnerable communities. Vanilla, welcome to TIHA.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Been long overdue. You should have been here a long time ago.
For sure.
Habari.
Zuri.
Yeah, I just wanted to show people that I know Swahili.
You know?
But it's really good to have you here, and thank you for honoring that invitation and for your willingness to contribute to the recorded history of the African trans movement. We really salute you for that. Now,
Thank
you're an activist, Vanilla, and we're going to talk about that. But before we talk about your activism, I would like us to get to know you first. The viewers today and in the future would love to know you first. For those of you who are watching us 50 years and so on from now, this is 2026, July 2026. There, where did your story begin, Vanilla? Where did the little Vanilla grow up? Where was she born?
um thank you. Vanilla, actually before that, I was known as Mimi. And over the years growing up, I used to get beaten at home because I would take when I was much younger, I would go to my auntie's rooms, take their powders and apply on my face at a very young age. Around the age of 6, 7 years, I wasn't sure what I was doing, but these are stories I'm told when I'm grown up, and I'm like, oh
Right.
wow. So this has just been me from day one. I would put on their heels, their shoes, and walk around the house. So Vanilla just started from a long time ago, even when I had no idea about who I was or what I
Yeah.
was all about, but it's always a spark in me. So
Wow.
growing up, like the stories that I'm hearing from, my uncles and relatives,
Yeah.
it's overwhelming. It's amazing.
And
And
you're not surprised.
so growing up, yes, yes. And the fact that I grew up being half Congolese, half
Ah,
Ugandan, yes.
wow.
And yes. So
You grew up in
I
Uganda?
would always, yes.
You grew up in Uganda?
No, I was born, yes, I grew up in Uganda. Like
Wow.
school and life. Yes. But I was born in Congo.
I see. Wow, that's very
Yes.
interesting. And
Yes.
in Uganda, you said you went to school in Uganda. That means everything around you was Uganda. You are a little Yeah, you were a little girl back
Yes.
then. You used to go to your auntie's room, and I'm sure you stole. You didn't just borrow, you stole her things, her powders.
No, no, the fact is, whenever I would even steal, I couldn't help myself. So I would always apply on my face, then put on their hairs. So it would always be seen that this one
You
is,
girls are very
there's
funny.
something
You
fishy.
go and steal powder and makeup, and then you put it on for the person to see.
Yeah, to see,
That's very
literally.
interesting, and I'm
So,
happy that we can laugh about that. But
yeah,
at
for
that
sure.
point, like, when did you start realizing that, oh, I'm different? Like, when did you become aware that you are different from the other
Um, I
boys?
became I became aware that I'm different about the age of 15,
15.
because yes, yeah, around 15 years, because my dad by then never used to live with us. I grew up without really a father figure in my life, but
Mm,
I'm strongest person I know as far as that
right.
I'm concerned. And he always used to be like, how comes you don't like boys things? You don't like boy stuff like football, you
Mm,
don't like speaking like a boy, you don't like
mm, mm.
acting like a boy, like a boy. I'll always put on my tights, tight things, just feminine kind of
The
outfits.
girl that
So
you
my
were.
dad always
Mm,
used to be concerned about that.
mm, mm.
Yes, and he always used to ask me like, how come you are so different from the rest of your siblings and all that. And I didn't have an explanation. I really didn't have
Right.
an explanation, but all along I knew by that age that I really loved, girling up. I really loved boys.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch soap operas and just be like, oh my god, that's so handsome. So I really at that period I I happened to have discovered myself by the age of 15. I had crushes on TV stars. I had big crushes on schoolmates. So I figured out that this is who I am, and I at some point I thought maybe I'm being possessed, that maybe I
Mm,
have a demon possessed in me, or there's something wrong with me.
right.
So I would reach out to some my close relative and tell them about this. And at some point, there's a time they took me to a priest, like to get prayers. Like maybe this
Wow.
is thing. Yes, something maybe that is demon possessed, or maybe I'm being possessed by some spirit that needs to
Mm.
leave me.
So
Yeah.
you
So
are
I was
seeking
very
help.
young. Interested.
Mm,
Yes, like seeking help, because I couldn't also explain it, but that's just something that was in me, and I
mm,
couldn't explain it, because they would see my expression, they would see how I carry myself, and it
mm.
was totally different from a boy child.
Now, those were your
So
teenage years.
after
Did you have a name for
yes,
that
yes.
kind of identity? Had you by now identified as transgender?
No, I hadn't identified as transgender by then, but that's just some of the gender identity fluid that I was going through, and
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just going through me being me, and I didn't know much about identity. I didn't know even much about being trans, so I just
Which
knew I
years
was
were
different.
those? In which year? Around which years were those?
I'm now 34 years, like
Yeah,
15 years. How long is that? That's
you're
how
still
long
young.
is that?
Mm.
Well. I'm soon reaching menopause, so so that's not very young. That's not very young.
Well, okay. So around your teenage
Yes.
years, 15, 16, 17, had you seen any other people who, you looked at and was like, this person is like me. This person is I'm kind of like this person that you identified with in terms of
Um,
expression?
I- yeah. I had elder friends actually,
Mhm.
because by the time I was 16, I was dating a 23-year-old person.
Right.
So I had other friends, and back then the Ugandan community was so silent. You couldn't really out yourself or speak about sexuality,
Yes.
or
Yes.
the mere
Mm,
fact, yes, the fact that you were still a minor and home. It was so
mm,
difficult to find people that I could relate with, and find
mm,
people that can understand my language or understand who I am.
right.
But among the years, this someone I got to know, that was, I think, Brian Koyoyo. He's in Canada.
Ah,
He was,
yes.
yes,
And
yes,
actually
yes, a very
now
good
living in
friend of mine.
Canada. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Those are actually one of the first people that I got to know, that introduced me to the community. At some point, they
Oh,
were a director to Icebreaker Uganda, and
ah,
yes, and they introduced me to different people that I can relate with, and
yes.
get mentorship from, like Frank Mugisha. There was
Yes.
Isaac Mugisha. There was
Yes.
Kelly Mukwano. So I got to know so many people that I didn't even know that existed. That I didn't even
Yes.
know that
Yes.
are in this community, or can help me to be free with myself and to be the
Mm.
person I am today. So
And
I
joining,
got to know people. Yeah.
oh, sorry, with you meeting these people, because all the people you mentioned are activists. It means that you also became part of those spaces. And is that where you first saw other people like you? How did you meet your first uh, transgender people? How do you then realize you are?
Yes, in those spaces and everything. I met Beyonce. She's an activist in Uganda for
Woman, yeah,
years, and she's done incredible work.
yeah,
Credit,
yeah.
and she's transformed the life of so many transgenders in Uganda and around the world.
Right.
And she helped me come to terms with the fact that I'm who I am, because
Mm-hmm.
at some point in life you feel that you can there's so much you can do, to hide your personality, to hide
Mm,
your identity, from
mm,
people and everything. So she mentored me in so many things about
mm-hmm,
becoming who I am. By the
mm,
time I was leaving Uganda, come to Kenya, even seeking asylum, I had issues with my family. But
mm-hmm.
sometimes, we'll go to night, we'll dress up because we just want to be girls. We'll
Girls
dress
will be
up
girls.
and exactly. We'll dress up and just be out there to be seen, and to be
Mm-hmm.
heard, to create some sense of visibility for ourselves. And
Right.
I had a shout with my family because at some point they got to find out, about
Mm-hmm.
my dressing up, and my just being different from everyone in the family.
Right.
And that also was the reason why I had to flee from home and just come to
Uh,
Kenya. And coming to Kenya, I met incredible people. I met Doreen, who was seeking
yeah.
asylum. I met
You met your
Prudie,
family.
and so,
Uh, we are
yes, I
going to
met my
get to
family.
Kenya, and in Uganda.
Yes.
Did you face any other challenges other than the family coming after you?
Yeah, with the community where I used to stay, I used to live on Entebbe Road,
Mm-hmm.
around Nanjanankumbi. And
Mm,
I used to face a lot of challenges because even moving on the road, the way I would just, speak, because I wasn't so
yeah.
good in Uganda. I
Oh,
understand the language, I would speak. And so people will definitely judge me and be like, oh no, in Uganda, like, oh no, Siwawa, no. Like, literally, this person
uh,
is not from here. And
this is foreigner.
they will just, yes, and they will like look at me in a different way because of the way I would walk, maybe the way I
Yeah.
would talk to them, and they'll be
Yeah.
like, oh no, alakanga musias, like emberas and gayabasias, things like that. Like
Meaning they
literally,
used to say,
meaning that,
you look like you're gay.
yes, 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 yes.
Hmm.
Yet I wasn't gay. I was a trans woman all along. So
Right.
they would
But
literally,
Uganda,
the
everybody.
neighborhood,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
it's so suspicious. It's so, yes, yes.
Mm.
And even going to the shop, everywhere I would go, and sometimes I would go out, I would apply like a lip balm, like my lips will be dry. I just want to apply
Yeah,
my lip balm. So
which is not
just
typical
use
for
that as an
Ugandan men.
excuse. Yes, exactly. So
Hmm.
they'll use that like, yeah, they will always, point fingers.
Yes,
And at some point, I feel very insecure when that used to happen because I felt like
yeah.
some of these people know where I live. Some would maybe
Mm.
follow you and see where you stay
Mm.
because I was staying in a bed sitter by then, and
Mm.
I used to be very insecure. Not to bring one of my friends, to live with me for some time just because of the insecurity. I used to get paranoid about all this. And even
Yes,
moving out, at some point, I used to move out at night, to get stuff and just stock some little food in the house so that I can just be moving out at night and not move during the day. So that really made me feel insecure about
it's
myself
crazy
and made me
how
learn that
you become a
I do
nocturnal, very strategically become a nocturnal, a night person, just for safety.
just
It's
for
like
safety.
people
Yeah, that
have
happened to
done
me. That happened to me.
that's crazy that a trans woman, a young trans woman is growing is is up and about in Uganda, has gone to school, is ready to start work, but cannot get out during the day because then they are going to be targeted. They can only get out at night. It's very
Yes,
absurd, very
yes.
absurd. I'm sorry
And
that
I
happened.
and I know and I know for sure. Yeah, and I know for sure it just didn't happen to me. I know like there's so many people
It's yeah, it's
back
not
in Uganda who are going through
right, right.
this
You know,
same situation.
tell the story.
Yeah,
This is
and
2026 viewers, listeners in the future. This is 2026. People still act as though they're nocturnal just for safety. Especially, this is a trans woman telling us her story. Thank you, Vanilla. So, it was a lot happening, but your family's treatment of you is what drove you out of Uganda.
yes, yes, yeah,
When
out
was
of
that?
the house. And that was about 2018, 2019, 2019.
Yes. Mm.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah,
And you
around
ended up in
2019.
Kenya?
And also during that period, actually, the bill had also passed on. The
Yes.
anti-gay bill had passed on, so it was a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, and mostly for me. And at that point, I had nowhere to hide. I couldn't go and hide at my friend's place forever.
Right.
I
Right.
couldn't go, and yeah, I had to find a way of surviving. I had to find a way of just being safe. So that's one of the reasons why I left Uganda, because I had to find a way of surviving, and I was also scared for my life. I
So
was
when did
very
you leave
scared for
Uganda?
my life by then.
2019?
Yeah, around 2019.
And then you got into Kenya. How was it like? Like when you went to Kenya, where did you go? Did you just find a place at the border? Like what happened? First of all, you're queer.
But
Sexuality is illegal
yes,
in Kenya. Kenyans see you as
I
an
had about Yes, and I heard about the process in Kenya, about UNHCR, helping. I didn't know about people traveling overseas or going abroad and all that, but I heard about UNHCR protecting
uh,
um refugees or people that come to the country that are displaced,
mhm.
um, despite their sexuality, despite maybe war from their home countries. So I heard about that, and that's one of the reasons that I came to Kenya. And coming to Kenya, it was really difficult. It was really difficult. I had some friends by then in Kenya, but I had to result into sex work for like 2 good
Mhm.
years, to survive in
Right.
this country. I really sure I had to resort into sex work,
Yeah. To survive.
doing all to survive. To survive.
Yeah.
Because coming here, you have no documents, no one wants to give you a job, no one wants to associate with a foreigner, more so refugee. And when they find out that you're a queer person, that's even the worst part of it all, you know. And I had to find way of surviving. surviving. I had to sell my body. I had to sleep in different places, in different people's houses. They've used me, abused me, and it's it's not a story that I'm happy sharing, but that's just some of my life experience that have shaped me to what I am today.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I had to go through all that, to just
And this was happening
survive in,
of Nairobi.
in yes, in Nairobi, until I met a shelter
Mhm.
whereby they were able to take me in. They like one of the shelter helped me, welcome me after so much had happened to me. Like at some point I felt like I'd given up in life. I got infected, I got diseases from all these encounter with different people. And one thing with Kenyans, they don't care. They want to do what you come to do, you know get your money, go away, and that's it.
Right.
They don't really care like about you or anything. It's
Yeah.
business. It's what
They're
do
not
what
like
you do.
Uganda where everybody is once they want to enter inside your clothes, in your bed, in everything.
Everything, literally everything. So they're not like that. So I had to figure it out. Staying at the shelter, I had to take care of my mental health because it was
Mm.
at a point whereby I really, really felt like suicidal so many a times, so
Understandably.
many a
Yeah.
times.
Mm.
Yeah, and I had to being at the shelter by then. I had to take care of my mental health because it was so much for me, and it was overwhelming,
Yeah.
and it was painful, really painful,
How long did you
really
stay at
painful.
this shelter?
About a year,
Okay.
yeah, because I had to heal from so much. I
Right.
had to heal from so much,
Right.
and God knows, like I'm still alive to to be here to even say these stories. I
Right.
had
Right.
to heal
You
so
went through
much.
a lot,
Yeah, it was
which
a
is the
lot. It was,
story of so many refugees. I'm so sorry
yeah,
these things keep happening because most people think people who suffer are in the refugee camps of Kakuma and elsewhere. It's
yeah,
very clear that urban refugees in Kenya go through a lot of challenges.
a lot of challenges.
Here you
From
are
police
testifying.
brutality to so much. Yeah, to so much.
So, yeah, and then from that shelter, is that when you RTI comes in?
Yes, from I didn't lose hope. I didn't lose hope. I
Mm.
realized that as long as I'm alive, I have so much potential. I have so much to achieve. I'm like, despite everything that has happened to me, as long as I'm still breathing, I still have so much to achieve, so much to live for. And
Right.
that's when I learned from the shelter that I was living with, how to live with people, how to adapt to so
Mm,
much. It's
mm,
how me and girls,
mhm,
some siblings, some girls, that's how we
mm,
came up with Refugee Trans Initiative to
mm,
advocate for the voices of transgenders who are here in Kenya, to create visibility for them, to create a safe space for them. And that's what we've been doing for the past years. And over
mm,
the years, we were lucky. We've been funded for the work that we do. We fundraise
mm,
for the work that we do.
mm.
It's been a roller coaster, but we had to fight so much. I remember at some point, I even me and some of these girls, we had to do campaigns at the UNHCR offices. We've climbed their cars when they are moving on the road. We've laid down like for their cars to hit us just to create visibility and
Yeah,
for
yeah,
us.
and
Yeah, I have
fighting
some of those
safety.
videos. Yeah. Just to create visibility, not just for us, but those to come, because we know the pain, we know the experience, we know the suffering
Yeah, you're
for we
like nobody
transgender.
go through this.
Yes, no one should go through what we've gone through. So
So,
we had to so much.
so the biggest struggles at that point, what were the biggest struggles for transgender refugees during that period? Basing on your life, it looks like housing was a big struggle.
Yeah, for trans cause, even in the shelter we were living like the whole spectrum, LGBTIQ plus, we were living with lesbians, but and that wasn't really you are living with gay people. And one thing from way back, maybe right now things have changed, but from way back by then, we were being discriminated even in our own community. You know,
Mm.
we were being sidelined even in our own minority community, whereby you know just because you're feminine, a gay person wouldn't work with you. Or maybe just because you're feminine,
Right, right.
sexual person, yes, would not work
Yeah.
with you on the street because they'll feel like, oh my God, they're outing me, or what would people think when they're seeing us together, with someone like this and
You
stuff
were
like.
basically marginalized by the marginalized.
Yes,
That
yes,
puts
yes, yes,
you
back
in a
then.
very, very ugly position.
Yes, yes. And
Wow.
it was such, yeah, for the longest time, for so many years, and that's what has been happening in our community, in our queer community, refugee
Right.
community, for a
Everywhere, but
long time.
you wonder. We see it in all spaces, even here in the West. But
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't imagine refugees treating fellow refugees like that. It's
Yes,
what I didn't
yes.
make sense of it when I heard that some refugees of different nationalities are and are attacking queer refugees. It bothered me a lot. Why would a person in this very situation see the other
Mm-hmm.
lower than them?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, that has happened out in the
I
camp.
know that
That's
has
true.
been a problem. So definitely healthcare as well, because viewers, this is Vanilla, an activist, a transgender woman in Kenya, a refugee herself. She has a refugee status, and she's telling us this story, her story of displacement. This is around 2019, going upwards, and yet the plight of refugees was there for almost a decade before more than half a decade before she got there. So
Yeah.
we're talking 2019, 2020, 2021, when the things you're hearing are happening, and that is very disturbing. So definitely healthcare. How was the situation? How was the situation with healthcare when you got there?
Um, Healthcare service providers had very little knowledge about who we are, and what we're all about. I remember there's a point that at some point I went to a hospital and I needed services, a public hospital, and I had to explain to them that I'm transgender. I need these services. I was having an infection and all that, and they couldn't understand. And the nurse told me like, "Why don't you give your life to God?" I'm like, "But like okay." And she's like, "Why don't you stop what you're doing? You're a very good looking person, and give your life to God and just be different."
That,
And I'm
that,
like,
that, that, that that's the
I
nurse
didn't come
treating you now. They are treating you.
yes, treating me and telling me all this. And I'm like, I didn't come here, for lectures. I came here to get services, to get, healthcare, medication. I didn't come here, to be told this and that because I already know what I am. I already know myself. So
Right.
please, can you help me and just give me the services I've come for? And even with the over the years, even with the UNHCR. It's been
Hmm.
so many people are not sensitized about who we are and they
Hmm.
don't understand the reality of that we are part of this community, we are part of this society, and we are here to stay, And the
Right.
fact that you are not sensitized or you don't understand me, that's none of my business, My
So
business is that I need services. My business is that I need support.
right.
And it's not my job, we've had meetings with these different organizations. We've had engagement with them and told them about the need of sensitization of not only to healthcare provider, not only to the police, but sometimes even to the to the community at large, to know that
Mm.
this is what is happening, this is what is there, and this, even like when people get arrested, I feel so sad that a trans person gets arrested, a trans woman is being kept in a male cell.
In
That
a male
happens
cell,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, where they are harassed, they are abused, and sometimes they are, done for unspoken things. And that's
And
really, as
do
a leader,
trans people arrested a lot in Nairobi?
these days, not so much because police used
Mm,
to like harass us a lot. So we
mm,
had to advocate and fight for ourselves. We had to make sure that we get lawyers, from different organizations that can really, really, really push for
mm,
this to stop. Because even at
mm.
some point, sorry, they used to come to our shelter, and extract money from us and be like, you guys, you're a cult, you're refugees, these things are not allowed in Kenya, we'll deport you, and threaten us,
Yeah.
And yet we have documents, we have legal rights to be here. But they will still go ahead and threaten us. And we had to find a way of fighting back, you know, until some of this organization had to go and see the OCS. That's like
Yes.
maybe yes, the command in the police office, to explain to them and speak to them and come to an agreement.
Are
People still get
trans refugees put in special cells now?
no, no, not at
They
all.
still put them according to their sex, their biological sex.
Yes, yes, their biological sex, and that's still very sad.
That's very sad. And
Unless
then,
when they see that, yeah, really, unless when they see that you've really, really, really transition, like you are a woman, they see the boobs, they like your voice, everything. That's not like, oh, they'll assume, oh, this is a woman. Let's put them in the woman's cell.
and
But
most
if
of
they
our
see any,
people,
yes,
most of
if they
our
see
people are,
anything, yes, yes, and most of our people don't have access to hormonal therapy. It's expensive, It's
right.
expensive.
Do trans refugees do? Is there access to hormonotherapy now? Do people Are people
Um,
able to access any of that?
through referrals, but still you have to buy your hormonal therapy.
You
You have
have
to
to
buy
buy.
your hormonal therapy. And we organization, we don't have that capacity, to provide for people. Even when we
Right.
put it in our grants application and all that, even the donors find it a bit, tricky. And the fact that it needs to be monitored, it needs a
Yeah.
specialist. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so much involved.
It's
So
difficult.
we refer yeah, we usually refers to local organizations that like Ethan and stuff that can really support, our refugee trans to get these
Yeah.
services.
Yeah.
Even that side, you still have to have money to access HRT, like literally. So it's so hard. It's so hard
It's so difficult for
for
a trans. I mean, for
this.
all queer
Yes.
people, all refugees, but trans refugees, definitely, it's obviously, very tough because I see that you have issues with safety, healthcare, housing, food, mental health. You mentioned mental health at some point, and
A big challenge.
are refugees allowed to work? Is it possible for trans? What's the situation with the trans community or the people that you work with who are refugees?
Um yeah, refugee allowed to work when you have an alien card, most definitely.
Mhm.
You can get a job, but they won't give you the job that you went to school for. Like, let's say I
Yeah.
specialize, I'm a lawyer professional, and I
Mm-hmm.
apply for a job. The fact
Mm.
that I don't have a work permit, I won't get the job.
Right.
The fact that I
Right.
don't have a work permit being refugee, and the sad part is the government is not helping me get that.
Right.
The organization that are supporting refugees, this bigger organization, are not helping me get that. I won't get the job that I qualify for. Like I myself personally, I did business administration. I have a diploma. And coming to Kenya, I couldn't get that job. I couldn't get the
Right.
work that I studied for.
Yeah.
I had to end up, actually I'm a farmer too. Like I love farming. So I had
Yeah.
to end up, what I love, do what I'm passionate about. And I
Uh,
was like, oh my God. So I went to school all these years. I even at some point had to struggle to pay for my own fee just
wow.
not to get a job.
That is,
Yeah,
that
and
is struggle.
it happens to so many refugees here, by the
Yeah,
way.
just knowing
Like,
that this is not a situation unique to you, that a lot of trans people there, even the ones you support, are going through these kind of things as their daily lived reality, is really disturbing. I've been very personally connected to the refugee crisis in Kenya, and I think it should have been declared a crisis a long time ago. Uh,
mm-hmm.
People have been going through this year after year, and
Yeah,
there's no change.
you know,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Let's go back to RTI because you are responding to this crisis. You're one of the organizations responding to the housing crisis and to all that. Let's see. Um, oh, RTI, how many members? We don't have to talk about many members, but your members are, are just trans women or trans people in general?
By now we not only have trans women or trans people, we have gay people living in the house. That's how
Really?
bad the situation.
Is
Yes, we
that
have gay people living in the house. We have gender non-conforming person living here. We have
right?
a few members who even sleep in the living room because we don't have enough space to accommodate. We
Right.
don't have enough beds. We don't have enough resources to accommodate most of the people we have. We're in a five-bedroom house and we are about 15 people as I speak. 15 people. And we just have to know these are our siblings, and RTI is not, I keep on telling people this. RTI is not a Ugandan-led organization. It's a
Yeah.
whole, we are community refugee-led organization whereby we will not right now where the crisis is around the world and everything that is happening. We will not just take trans refugees. We are taking
Right.
refugees. As long as you're queer and you're refugees and you need support, we give out the support in whatever best way we can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And apart from the housing program, are there other programs that you're offering to this your
Yes.
members? Which ones
Yes.
are those?
On funding basis, when we get funding,
Mm,
we do food supply, not just to members that we stay in with.
right.
We also do we have some outside beneficiary, about 20 to 30 outside beneficiary
Right.
that
Oh, like
plus
beneficiaries who don't live in the shelter.
yes, that we
Wow.
don't live in the shelter.
Yeah.
That we also supply food support to, depending
Right.
on the funding capacity that we have.
Mm,
So we give out food support, we give out hygiene support. We also do humanitarian rights advocacy. Like some of these people come in and they don't have, documents. Like, you may come on your arrival and it's taking you so long to get a
mm,
document. You make an appointment with the UNHCR offices. But each time you go there, they keep on postponing your appointment and all that. So we write emails, we keep writing emails. We look out for referrals on how our people can get documents,
yes.
to avoid exploitation, being arrested, and such things. So
Mm,
that's one
mm,
the major thing we do. Legal documents and advocacy. We advocate a lot, not just for us,
mm.
also for the whole community, for
Right.
open
Right.
slots, yeah, open slots,
Yeah.
for research, because I myself one of them who've been here for a long time, Doreen, and and other many other refugees, trans
Yeah.
refugees have been here for a long time, and we keep on advocating for getting slot for resettlement, because my case was USA, going to the US, but
Mm,
a lot happened ever since Trump came in, and things just kept on being complicated and complicated.
right.
So had to be shift to another country. So I'm still waiting for feedback and good news. Um, livelihood, and this is one thing that we majorly emphasize on. We
Mm.
train our members, to be self real, to rely on themselves, to be self
Yes.
sustainable ways of
Mm.
surviving
Hmm.
in this country. We have chicken
So you
projects
train
that
them
we
in different trades?
yes,
Hmm.
yes. Poetry. We have poetry. We got an incubator. We have just a challenge of feeds and food
So you have
for our
chickens
hen.
there?
Yes, we have chicken and an incubator. We hatch our own chicks. Actually, we do that.
That's the story
So
of.
we train. Yes, yes, we do that. We have a kitchen garden where we grow our own food.
Wow.
And also yes, and also train our members. Once we have supplies, we actually get to sell out there.
Wow.
So our members also get to earn from that.
Do
Yes.
you grow skuma wiki?
Yes, Kumawiki, we grow kale. That's kale, right? We grow also spinach. We
Hmm.
grow onions. We grow pili pili. That's chili, and
Yeah.
what else?
That's
Yeah,
so
and
cool.
potatoes. A few things here and there. Yeah,
That's so
and we
cool, and
also
that's
train.
advancement. It's advancement in the
Yeah, we
community.
also Yeah, and we also train, our members to to learn these things, because you going, being resettled is not a guarantee,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
you can
yeah.
still be
And also being taught how
um
to rely on yourself, self-reliance is very important
exactly
prior to traveling
very
to a different land, because
and
man, these strange
and you
lands
have
that
that
we
skill.
go to are not also fun. So you come strong, and
Mhm.
I think you're preparing your beneficiaries for this.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you so
And
much.
we
How are we?
also do, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And last but not least, last really sorry,
Yes.
we do art. We do so much art. RTI
Yes.
basically it's all
And that's
about
queer
art.
joy. And indeed, I wanted to ask you about queer joy, because this can make people lose hope. This can make people feel dead. You know, these challenges you have mentioned, the daily lived realities of refugees, can just get somebody lost completely. And queer joy is important in those moments amidst all these challenges.
Mhm,
Is there queer joy within the refugee community, the queer refugee community?
mhm.
Is there queer
Yeah,
joy at all? Are there
yes,
activities? What do you do as a community?
we do come together. As I said, we do art. So when we come together, this is a way of expressing ourselves. This is mental health to us.
Yes,
This is psychosocial support.
right.
So we come together, we paint, we share stories, we share a meal, and not all the members of the community we come, but some safe houses like RTI usually organizes events from time to time
Mm,
whereby we come together like some members of different organizations. We cook a meal together, we share our
mm.
stories, we get to paint, we get to dance,
Yeah,
we get to yes, yes,
that's cool.
and just share the space and just hold each other's hands and tell each other that it's going to be okay eventually
And keeping the hope up, because for
and
a
keeping
refugee,
hope
the only
up.
thing you have is
That
hope. And if you lose it
that's
as
the
a refugee,
only thing we have. That's
you're
the
dead.
only thing we have. That's the only thing we have, honestly. And keeping
Yeah.
the hope alive. Because without it,
Mm,
then you've lost everything. So we do that, and also we do this art to fundraise for
right.
our organization because this is what support us in paying bills. Sometimes for food,
Mm, mm,
livelihood projects, and when someone does the art and we get to sell them, they get their commission, so that also our beneficiary get to have some money in their pockets. So
mm.
we tend, yeah, to show it out there that we are not just queer and hopeless or queer and have nothing to do. but we show out there that we also are capable of doing so much that the world doesn't know about.
Right, right. We didn't know. We know about refugees, but we didn't know about most of what you're sharing. So I am glad you have a space to share this, and thank you so much for sharing. Now, as we come to the end, I have a few more questions I would like to ask, and that is about, the bigger picture. The bigger picture, because I clearly transgender refugees face multiple layers of discrimination. And so,
Yes.
what do you wish humanitarian organizations understood better about this situation? I've had so many refugees saying they've been misunderstood and all that. What do you wish humanitarian organizations understood better?
I would wish for them to understand better that there's a great need of support. And support is not just in terms of financial.
Mm,
There's a great support that needs to go to queer refugees. And the fact that the society does not understand us and maybe will never will, maybe
mm,
after some very, very, very many years to come, there is a great need of support financially, mentally, sensitization, to the public, to the healthcare session,
mm.
to this organization that support refugees. They also need sensitization because they know how to handle refugees in general, but they don't know how to handle us, like the minority in
Right,
this
right.
in setting. So there's a lot of work that a
Yeah,
humanitarian organization needs to do in terms of support, and also there are so many refugees, queer refugees, that are going through mental health breakdown. There's a lot of need of mental health support.
yeah.
A lot of need of mental health support. There's a lot of need to create job opportunities for refugees because we are learned. We
Mm,
have learned, we've school, we've also studied. We are not so different from anyone else out there.
right.
Mm. We need, to tap into these job opportunities. May it be capital, to start up a business. Maybe getting proper documentation, to get that job that I studied for. So
Yeah.
we need a great improvement in our lives, and also slopes, also resettlement slopes,
Mm,
because some
mm,
of us reach the point whereby we are like, okay, I've given up. If I go, I don't go. As long as I'm surviving, as long as I'm living, I've gone through it all, so there's nothing else left.
mm.
There's nothing else left. So we
Yeah.
need this love, like for them to advocate more for queer refugees to get slopes, because there's so much potential out there. There's so much opportunities. Here in Kenya, if you don't have a job, as they say, we'll stay home, we'll take care of our chickens, and that's still that's not enough.
Nah.
That is just not enough. So we need them to know that there's so much potential that we have, and they should keep on advocating, keep on supporting, and keep on creating spaces for us wherever they go.
Okay. Where can people find RTI online?
We have a Facebook page. That's
What is it
Refugee
called?
Trans Initiative.
Okay.
Yes, on Facebook. We have
Mm-hmm.
an Instagram page, Refugee Trans Initiative as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Twitter page, Refugee Trans Initiative. You just
Mm-hmm.
type it and you type Twitter, it will bring the page. On Facebook, the
Mm-hmm.
same, and on Instagram. And we have a fundraiser
Mm-hmm.
called Fundraising for Refugee Trans in Kenya.
Oh, that's also online. It's on the social media platforms.
Yes, it's yeah, it's on social media. It's on Google.
It's on Google. Okay. Now, before
Yeah.
before we go, Vanilla, I've seen a lot of young trans women come through RTI which I know as RTI. And it's very clear that RTI has supported these young women. Over the years, you have more and more experience working with these young women. And today we have so many young trans people, trans refugees in Kenya, in the camps, in the urban areas too. And I would like to ask you, to request you to leave a message uh, to young trans people, trans refugees in Africa. You know, they've just become displaced.
Um, Hi everyone. This is Vanilla from Refugee Trans Initiative. I'm an activist, a trans activist from Uganda, Congo. And I'm a mother to so many. And I just want to leave this message to young trans refugee, not just around East Africa, but around the world, that the struggle continues. That you may not see your worth today, but the more you push towards the goal that you're willing to achieve in life, towards being you and yourself, because no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. You have to be there for yourself. You have to look out for yourself and you have to fight for your rights as a trans person. I'm speaking out of experience. I'm speaking out of lived reality as a trans woman and refugee. You have to fight. And all I can promise you is that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Don't give up because you may not be loved around where you are, but the world out there loves you and sees you. I love you and I see you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vanilla, for that message to our siblings. And thank you for sharing your story also. Um, and the work that you continue to do in supporting transgender and gender diverse refugees in Kenya. Thank you for your willingness to share your story. I don't know if you're there, but also for our viewers and listeners, thank you for joining us for this edition. And until next time, from me and Vanilla, would like to say goodbye. Thank you.